Aloha and shalom. We're here for the new moon activation. Phew. I was actually going to do this activation tomorrow, but you know how I do it. I go when I get the call. So I was feeling it, and I'm really looking forward to some clarity and some guidance, some confirmation, really, because I feel like the clarity and the guidance is coming in. But I'd like some confirmation. How about you? So I'm just setting up my space here. And while you guys tune in, let me know in the comments where in the world you're tuning in from. And feel free to share this video right now while we're live so that you can get your friends in the portal. If you have a friend or a family member who maybe has been needing some inspiration, an uplifting message, you want to invite them into the live or share this video after. Maybe you have a favorite group on Facebook that would appreciate this activation portal. Send them in. And of course, if you prefer, you can wait till the video is over. You'll also find the activation afterward on YouTube and Instagram, Rebecca Magic, for anyone who's not on Facebook. So we're at the time of the new moon, and all that's showing us is a reflection of what's going on inside of us, right? It's not really about the moon. It's about what it's reflecting to us, and what's happening in one dimension is happening in all. So when we see the shape of the moon, it's just a really easy and obvious way to locate where we're at within this monthly cycle. It's like, oh, okay, something new is about to happen. Fresh energy. About to step into a new cycle. I'm really feeling that. Are you guys feeling that? So new moon activation is going to bring us a message about what we are stepping into, what we are newly stepping into. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the Hebrew cards. Welcome to the activation portal. For those of you who've never been here before, we do this every week. And for those of you who are returning back to the portal, welcome back. I love seeing the familiar faces. I love seeing the same friends coming again and again to the activations every week. It's such a unique community. And I physically live in a unique community, but I have to say this global connection, this global community that has been naturally forming around the activations for so many years now is just freaking awesome. It's unmatched. It's so cool. I love seeing you guys on here every week and just growing together, glowing together. So, feel complete, and I just want to say thank you in advance to the archetypes, faces of the one, for this message that's about to come through. Thank you, thank me, thank we, thank one. Thank all of us. Many, many thanks, infinite thanks. We're so looking forward to this message. Starting with the challenge and gift. And a hidden fear. And remember, this is individual and collective. A lot of times I get comments with people asking for a personal card. I just want to clarify that these activations are always both for the individual and the collective, but it applies to each one of us and the one that is us. So I get lots of messages after the activation saying, wow, I felt like that was just for me. It was talking to me. And I feel that too, because it is. You are me and I am you and we are one. And so these archetypal messages, they are reflecting truths that are present within all things. So they're always going to be relative. Okay, so we're always going to find that relativity, and it's going to be manifesting differently for each one of us in our lives. You know, how the energy manifests is, yes, unique and different, but there are themes underlying it all, and that is what the tarot, the true tarot, brings us And now with the Hebrew deck, we'll pull an ally for the week. Okay. Thank you. Challenge and gift. Right away, it's like, blah, 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 blah. It's so relative. I see so many ways that this archetype is showing up for me personally. So let me get out of my own head. 5 of Wands. Wands is the suit of fire or spirit. And 5 is when you're really in the middle of a lesson pertaining to the particular suit that you pull, right? Or the primary element that it represents. Because believe it or not, a little ancient tarot secret, whatever element you see, all the other elements are also in there. It's just that there's a primary element that you want to consider when you're pulling it. So for this one, it's fire, it's wands. It means that we're going through a spiritual initiation right now. The primary focus is that. Of course, however we're being affected, that's going to reflect mentally, emotionally, physically. But we're going to address it first from the spiritual dimension, because that's going to be the most efficient route as represented by the wands here, okay? So if we're on a spiritual journey right now in the eternal now, if we're going through a spiritual initiation currently, then the 5 shows us that we're right in the middle of it. We're right in the middle of this particular initiation that we're going through. Okay, look at the art. It's 5 males, and they appear to be, it's like, are they fighting? What are they doing? I mean, no one actually appears to be hurt. And what the wands are representing is their power, their will, their truth, their creative expression. All of those things. It's their expression. And this archetype asks us to look at how are we not expressing ourselves? What are the hesitations? If there are hesitations to express ourselves fully, what are those and why? Study those now. Now is the time. And if you are putting yourself out there, what are your intentions truly? Truly root deeply into your intentions, and remember that if your intentions, for example, are truly pure and you're wanting to manifest goodness for the world, which is really all of our shared purpose, then you don't have to worry about how your truth is going to be received, because if your truth is aligned with the truth, it will be protected. It will be confirmed by the way that the wind moves around you through your hair and the way the leaves dance. I mean, just nature will back you up. Your truth will have no choice but to be received, because it will be a representation of the truth, meaning universal truth, for example. Okay, so right now, if this is the challenge, we're being asked to look at, hey, are you putting yourself out there enough? Are you speaking your mind? What are you afraid of? And why the resistance if you are meeting the resistance? And how can you remember that competition can be healthy in a way where we come at that competition from this perspective of oneness and compassion, and we know that this whole thing is temporary anyway. We know, and this is what all this symbolism represents, okay? We know that this world is temporary. We don't need to hurt each other to get our points across. We get it. Like, we're coming at this from a higher perspective. And if we're sharing and that ends up in a rebuttal or that ends up in a debate, that can be healthy as long as we have positive intentions. So we're being asked right now, we're being challenged right now. And the more we focus on this, the greater the gift right now. Okay, this lesson is being highlighted right now. So we're being challenged right now to express ourselves fully, recognize where we hesitate, where we doubt ourselves, our own truth. How can we maybe refine our expression to be more aligned with truth? And as we do that, remain aware through the process, remain aware that as long as we do that, we have nothing to hide, nothing to fear. Truth protects itself. Truth defends itself. So life becomes more simple. We become less afraid. We become more joyful and excited to express ourselves and to come into potentially a space that we previously would have thought it might not have been received, that our truth might not have been received in that space in the past. Now we're not worried about that, because we're focused on the truth and aligning with the truth so that we can become a conduit of that one truth. Knowing that we will have nothing to fear. All we have to do is focus on embodying that fully, use all of our presence to focus on embodying that, going wherever we must to share this truth, to share this expression. Knowing that we may be met with resistance, but why focus on that? I often talk about this quote from Albert Einstein: great minds will always receive violent opposition. Perhaps, but great minds will also receive all kinds of reflections, and that's so limiting. I mean, there's so much more to say after that. You know, it really leaves you hanging. It's like, well, we're going to receive all kinds of reflections. So why even worry about that? Why not just take our power back, our energy back from all that leaking, from worrying and fear and anxiety? Take our power back and just use it to come more into who we are in a way that is beautiful and fun, joyful. Become so confident in who you are that just shines right out of you. That just pours right out of you. The gifts that you want to bring to the world just immediately start, manifesting a new reality for you because you are so focused on being who you truly are and expressing that. But remember, the deeper initiation within this archetype, as always, is understanding from a collective space, from collective consciousness. Okay? It's not just about expressing myself. Like, it's also about what is the worth of what you're expressing. Is it worthy to even be expressed? Okay? We're all about freedom of expression, but what are we expressing? The more that you wish to express actual truth which brings harmony into this world, universal truth, which brings harmony to all of us as one, the more you will be supported. This is just the law. This is how it is. So if you want to reach the deepest level of this activation that this archetype is offering us, it's saying, don't just claim your freedom of expression and fight for your freedom of expression. What are you really wanting to express? Is it worth it? Is it aligned with truth? Because if so, you will feel that. You'll feel that deep in your bones. You'll know that this is truth. This is the truth. And I have no fear in sharing this now. Chances are, if you're having doubts around what you're expressing, it's because it's not completely aligned with truth. It's not completely aligned with who you are and your truth, and it's not aligned with the highest truth. So work to get to that alignment so that you can begin expressing it. We are here to be beings of action and expression. We are already perfect in an alternate dimension. We are already eternal light. But we are here to evolve. We are here to express. We are here to do something with that light that we know we are. Yes, we know. But what are we going to do with it? Okay? So you're being asked if you have been feeling like, throat chakra blockage, whatever you want to call it. If you've been feeling stuck, like cat's got your tongue, you can't speak up because maybe you're embarrassed or you're afraid what the response is going to be. Examine that. Why are you so afraid? If it's the truth, it's the truth, and it must be expressed. There is no question about it. So do what you must to become confident in that truth. And I'm telling you, the secret is, if you are aligned with the truth, you will reach the ultimate level of confidence, because when you reach that level of consciousness and you embody it, the universe rushes to help you actualize it, because life supports life. Okay, so this energy is fiery. We need to invoke the fire element. So if you've been more like lazy, hiding, it's time to come out. It's time to get your energy up. If you have a vitamin deficiency, this is like very specific information coming in regarding health. If you have a vitamin deficiency, a mineral deficiency, tune into your intuition. What is it telling you you need? Because in order to embody that fire that the wands represent, that fiery expression in its higher form, then we need to be healthy. Because the healthier we are, the higher our frequency. The higher the frequency, the more faster vibration, friction, light, heat, light. So what do you need to do to get into that fiery, creative, juicy, embodied expression? we have to do that. Okay, so vitamins, minerals, and don't just like look at a book, like tune into yourself, do what you need to do, be honest with yourself. Have I been drinking enough water? I mean, with salt in there and maybe some fruit juice, because water is not really even hydrating. It goes in, it goes right out. So just all these things, all the knowledge that you've gathered about conscious awareness of the body and health, apply it now so that you can have that vitality and that life force that reflects that inner confidence that we're talking about, that you must develop if you wish to be this type of an expression of your truth, unafraid to put it out there. There's a lot with this card for this week, so I'm going to keep going on this one card for now. Okay, so also in regard to our reflections, which is our relations at one another, our friends, our family, everybody we come across, we have to equally be open to receiving their expression. This is very important key to unlock this, the deeper level that is coming with this activation right now. When you meet others along the path, whether that's in your own home, in the store, wherever you go in this physical reality, you want to be aware, hyper aware that that person is you, is one with you, no excuses. And you want to be the person that can be that safe space, container, fair player, for example, so that you receive that in return, not just from humans, but from the energy of any environment you step into. Okay, so you want to bring your truth out into the world. Like, check out this image. You want to put it out there, and you want to you don't, where's it going to go, right? Where's it going to go when you just put it out there? You welcome healthy opposition. You welcome others to bring their ideas because you want to be welcomed. You want your ideas to be welcomed to the table. And it can be a healthy competition, again, a healthy debate. But we have to bring our ideas to the table and be open and bring our compassion and patience, understanding, all those things, so that our ideas can come together for the highest good. For example, if you bring your truth to the table with ego and you only want your truth to be heard, it's not going to be heard because you're not hearing. If you don't listen, you won't be heard. That's the irony. You already know this. You already know this. So we have to be willing to speak our truth and also give one another the space to speak theirs without being defensive immediately, but being truly receptive and knowing that when we are receptive to another, we are setting the space for our own truth to be received simultaneously. In fact, when someone else is speaking and you're receiving, that is just another form of you being heard because you literally are that person. When we start thinking from this extreme, what some would call extreme level of oneness perception, that's where we unlock these little magical keys. You know what I'm saying? Because if you really know you're that person, then you know that you have a duty to fully listen to them if you want to be heard. And that you don't have to wait to be heard, that when you're hearing them, you are being heard because that's you. Period. That's it. See, then you're fully present and listening. And then it does, by law, come back around and you will be equally heard. Okay, so there might be a lot of arguing going on, or feeling like you're holding back, like you can't say what you want to say, and that's causing a lot of resentment or anger. And so the time is now for everybody to come out with their truth and know that everybody's fighting their own battle, right? Everybody's fighting our own inner battle. So bring compassion and bring your truth, and let's bring it all to the table. Let's put our ideas together with the remembrance of our one shared goal: to bring heaven to earth, to bring more light into this world, which means on a practical level to embody a virtuous frequency, a frequency of compassion, period. So if we're all here to do that, then we have no fear. We should not hold back our truth, nor should we be so defiant and opposing someone else when we haven't even heard them speak yet. None of that makes any sense. If we remember our shared goal, we will have the maturity and the compassion to come together with a goal of reaching harmony, of bringing that light to earth, that virtuous light of compassion to earth. And perhaps there needs to be an expression of that, or an acknowledgement, hey, let's clarify here as we come back into this, what has been a tumultuous situation. Let's remember we have the same goal here, come into that common unity, that space of unity, and state your intention. So then you can go into it and you can be emotional and you can express, you can bring your fire to the table. But no one will actually be hurt because we know what the goal is and we're not going to forget that. We're going to remind each other. Any of y'all experiencing this in your life? Okay. And doesn't this look like one of the guys in the picture? So, because he's a page, right? This is a bunch of young males. It's just representing action. The masculine speaks to our more logical self, our expressive self, our active self. That's why they're all males here. And we have another male card. And this is our hidden fear. And it's funny, I did one reading this week for a friend, and this guy came up. And it was in the same position, a place of a hidden fear. So, and I feel this right away. Let me know if this is you guys, if you resonate with this as much as I do. I'm about to say it. The fear looks like this. And remember, individual and collective, okay? The fear looks like this from the Page of Swords. I'm afraid I don't know what the heck I'm doing here. I'm afraid that I'll never make it through this challenge. I'm afraid that I don't have the resources or the tools or the awareness to make it through this challenging time. Now, remember, the fear is usually more subconscious. Oftentimes we can be like, yeah, I recognize that fear. But sometimes completely just like unconscious, unaware, right? But it's deep down in there. And the thing is, the fear is not anywhere near as powerful as the neutralizing effect, the neutralizing force. So let's look at what the Page of Swords, would say from a positive and healed perspective. Because that's what we need, right? To tip the scales, to neutralize the fear. So again, fear, I'm afraid I'm not equipped to move through these challenges. That means that fear is like coattailing on our other thoughts. And you try to see it, but it's hiding in your peripheral, okay? So let's heal that. Page of Swords from a positive perspective would say, I'm learning, I'm gathering awareness, I'm gathering knowledge, I'm cultivating wisdom right now. And so I can be easy on myself, and I can remember that every challenge comes with a gift, an opportunity. And as I move through them, I inevitably will make it through them. And as I move through these challenges, I will remember all throughout the process that I'm gathering my tools, because there are always going to be challenges in life. And I gather tools along the way so that I get better and better. But if I sit here and I just allow myself to believe, even in the back of my mind, that I just can't do it, then I won't do it, and I'll be stuck until I can believe in myself. You see? So there's been a lot of this subconscious doubt, and we're not even realizing when we're doubting ourselves. We're not even realizing that we have this fear of failure, or this fear of not being enough, or this fear of not having what we need to make it through. Okay, so whatever you need to say to neutralize that. When you say it, it should feel really good. That's how you know. That's a hint. That's how you know that you're doing the work, that you're healing, that you're clearing, that you're getting rid of that fear and progressing. Okay, so some of those statements might look like, I have everything I need to make it through this challenge and all challenges because I was made to be prepared for this. I wrote this script. The one wrote this script. There's no other. It is me, I. So wherever I am, it's perfect. And for me to, and this is how I talk, to myself. For me to tell myself that I don't even have a fighting chance makes no sense to the laws of nature, the laws of manifestation, the laws of the universe. Makes no sense. I'm self-sabotaging, and I know that. And so it's nonsensical, and it's silly. It's silly. So we have to come out of this space of feeling small and remember who we are, and remember that every challenge is helping us to grow. Every challenge is tailor fit for us, for where we're at on the path. Okay, so don't give in to that little voice that says you'll never get through this, you don't have enough of this or that to make it through. Whether that's an inner quality or a material thing, you have the universe inside of you. You will make it through. Start seeing yourself on the other side. Spend more time, spend all of your time, your awareness there, looking ahead, knowing that of course I will make it through. But don't let me be so upset along the way that I miss the whole point. Okay, so these two together are looking like it's about relations, people around us, you know, how we are moving through our relationships within those challenges, our expression, our truth. You know, it's all about gaining that confidence and remembering the one goal, rising to that place of compassion, embodying it, actualizing it, doing what needs to be done with compassion. And the Hebrew ally of the week is the letter Bet. You can Google it. Hebrew letter B-E-T or B-E-I-T. It's going to be flipped because we're on the camera. It's the second letter of the Hebrew alphabet. So it's connected to the high priestess or the veiled Isis. And the message of the Bet is, look at it from its hieroglyphic symbol. The symbol that's connected to the Bet is a house or a tent or a dwelling space. Okay? And this is all about, where are we dwelling? What is our dwelling space? And this came up recently too. Some of you may have been a part of that activation where Bet came up. Bet asks us, how is our world being a vessel for the divine? How is our home a vessel for the divine? How is our body a vessel for the divine? Our mind, divine. And so we're being asked to look at, how are we being a vessel for sacred energy? How are we being a vessel for the energy that we know we need to embody, that we came here to embody? Okay, so let's look at how that relates to the rest of the activation. So right here, for example, when you're feeling like this in the negative way, right, because we pulled it in a side of fear, when you're looking at this part of you that feels like you're struggling and you'll never make it through this challenge, remember, Bet says, remember who you are. Remember what this world is made of. Remember what your body's made of. Remember what every vessel is made of? The elements. Everything. Everything. The elements, which can be reduced to the two, masculine and feminine, positive, negative forces of polarity, which then can be reduced to the one in their union, right? So the Bet is telling us, remember what you're made of. Rise up, rise above. What are you here to do in this body? When you feel like, Bet says, when you feel like you're being challenged and you can't pull yourself out of it, remember that you have everything you need, and everything you need can be represented by and summarized by the 4 elements. So ask them, yourself, because that's who they are, there's only one, for help. Ask them, yourself, the universe, for assistance. Okay? We are here to be the best vessel we can be for that divine energy. Our minds and our bodies, we're here to embody the divine. So remember that purpose. Let it inspire you. Let it lift you up. Let it tell you, hello, you are never stuck. That is so ridiculous. Stop that right now. Stop that right now. That makes no sense. Stop having such wasteful thoughts. And it's not like to beat yourself up, but it's to say, no, pick yourself up right now. Okay? A little inspiration, a little bit of a fire on you to remember your purpose and why you're here, who you are here to be, and what you're made of. If you remember what you're made of, you know how sacred you are, and you know that you can call upon the elements which are within you and within all things in any moment. Okay? I'll give you guys a little example, because it's a very intuitive process when you're calling on the elements. Okay? It's like, it's primal. So I'll give you an example, because we're all capable. The first time I ever played a Tibetan bowl, I was shocked at how hard it was to play, like a real hand-hammered Tibetan singing bowl. Very hard to play. I was like, I can't even do it. I can't even do it, right? But I was determined. And I had to get out of my head. I felt challenged. I felt like I was stuck. Remember, this archetype and all archetypes manifest on all levels in all dimensions. So this is a funny, silly little, very real example. I was feeling challenged, but I was determined. And so I gave it up logically, and I sort of lowered my eyes, tuned into my higher frequency, whatever you want to call it. And I just said, elements, play this bowl through me. Let's go. You do it. And I just saw the elements as colors, light. You could see it however you want. Imagination, run free. Okay? I saw each of the elements swirling together as different colors of light coming around the singing bowl and just guiding that little stick to play the bowl. And it worked the very first time. And I'll tell you, that's how I play it every single time now. So you'd be surprised how much we complicate things. And I've written about this a lot. I've journaled about this a lot, that when we are beginning a process of manifestation, wanting to manifest anything, if we don't first check in with the elements, we're complicating the entire process. Because the elements summarize everything. It's like you go straight to the source. You make things easier when you say, hey, first, before I try to do anything, I'm going to remember who I even am. I am the 1, the 2, and the 4. I am the elements. And I'm going to tune into those, and on a cellular level, I'm going to speak to myself, my cells, and I'm going to ask the elements to each do their job to bring what I need into manifestation, because whatever we manifest is inevitably going to be made of those elements. So you ask them, however you want to approach them, earth, air, water, fire, however, and you have to have, well, you don't have to do anything. But the clearer your definition of the elements and relationship to the elements, the easier this process becomes of invoking them or calling them to work with and for you, work as you. Okay, they have to be your familiars. You have to see yourself in them as them, one with them. And then you can begin to work with them. Okay, so remember who you are. When you're feeling challenged, maybe there's an easier route. Maybe you're complicating it. Maybe you just need to remember who you are, why you came here, what you're made of, and work with those forces. And watch how, boom, you move out of this page into the night, right? Which is the next one, taking action, finally. You move out of this stuckness, you take action. And you move your way up all the way to the king, and you reach a new level of initiation within that element or suit. Okay? So we have a hidden fear that we're stuck and we don't have the tools. The remedy? Remember who you are and why you're here, what you're made of. Call upon those elements. Stop complicating the process. You will make it through. So remember that, and the sooner you do, the sooner it'll happen. It's all in here. And bring your creative expression, bring your truth to the table. If you really remember who you are and why we're here, and you remember the whole point of expressing your truth, the real one goal of bringing more light to the earth, bringing heaven to earth, then you won't be afraid. There will be no hesitation. You'll step right into the ring and bring your piece and welcome all of the pieces as well. Woo! Yeah. It's good. It's good. I feel there's so much more already coming out of the cards at me, so I'm enjoying this process and going to go deeper myself. I hope that you guys enjoy doing the same. I'm happy to do this work alongside you. Thank you for coming to the activation, doing this with me, with all of us together. Please, if you want to share something you saw in the cards, that you see in the cards, something that you want to share that you think might help another who might be going through the same thing in relation to the activation, please share. Not here in the comments because they'll probably get lost, but join our private group on Facebook called the Archetypal Alliance and share there. Maybe you need an opinion, you need some advice, you want to share a reading you did for yourself. That's the place to do it. I also have another private group called Shabbat Crew where we share about Kabbalah and the Kabbalistic explanation of the current Torah story every week. So feel free to join us there in Shabbat Crew. And so many of you reached out about my books. If you haven't heard back from me yet, please reach out again. I'm trying my best to get to all my messages. You can private message me here, or you can email me at info@royalpathtarot.com. I'm very excited. I've been very creative over here and working on really organizing all of the classes that I've made outlines for over the years. So I'm excited to start recording and share that. That's my piece I'm bringing, So I'm excited about that. And thank you to everybody who's been making donations. This week was incredible. It feels amazing to see my little notifications pop up that not only did I get a notification, I got an awesome review with it, or somebody pouring their heart out, or just really feeling grateful and thankful for this space that we've created. And it supports me greatly. To receive for this feels good. I've been doing this for years and I love it. If I was the only person watching, it'd be worth it for me. But I don't have to be alone, luckily. Alone, all one. Anyway. So it's really awesome that you guys are all here, you're showing up and you're reciprocating and donating, and I can continue to do the work that I do then. Continue to dive deeper and bring more offerings to you guys through your donations. So thanks for making that possible. I love you guys so much. I'm here with you, and I look forward to seeing where we're all at a week from now with the first quarter. Where are we going to be? Well, we have stepped it up. We have spoken our truth with love. And we have received the truth from others, learn how to listen, move out of our fear that we'll always be stuck, and be empowered knowing that we're one with the elements and can call upon them anytime to work with us, work through us. I love you guys. Remember, this is going to be on YouTube and Instagram if you have a friend who's not on Facebook and you really want to share this inspiring message. Peace for now.